and welcome to the UC Davis Extension Professional Coaching for Life and Work Certificate Program Information Session. The focus of this information session is to share the details, some commitment, and the philosophy of our coaching program to help you decide if this 5-month-long program is right for you. I'm Crystal Babawal, one of the program leads, and I'm joined on this information session by my colleague Stephanie Eaton.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us on this webinar today.
Thanks, Stephanie. And rounding out our program team is our Associate Director, Joanna Siebert. I'd also like to take a minute to introduce you to our program directors, Carol Bennett and Michelle Payne. Carol and Michelle have a wide range of experience. They're ICF credentialed coaches. Carol, a PCC coach, and Michelle, an MCC coach. You'll learn what that means in just a second. And they're all instructors for our program as well. So you'll see through this webinar that there are a variety of different ways to use coaching, and no matter which way you plan to utilize coaching, there are certain philosophies, techniques, and application that are relevant to all fields of coaching, and that's the focus for this program. We're also really excited to have a program alumni here with us today, Angela Lindley. Angela graduated the program in winter of 2017. Hi, Angela. Thanks for being here. She's going to give us an insider's perspective on the program and how she has utilized coaching skills and what she's learned in the program after. So during this webinar, we're going to discuss the details of the coaching program, provide some insight into the intention and philosophy of the program. We'll understand a little bit about the connection between this program and ICF, the International Coach Federation. And you'll learn about the benefits provided through this program. We'll also be able to hear from our alumni guest speaker, Angela Lindley, and we'll end with an opportunity for your questions. So while we will end with an opportunity for your questions, we want to encourage you to not hold your questions until the end. If something comes to mind while we're talking, let us know. We want to be able to engage with you throughout the whole information session today. At this time, I'd like to invite everyone to please direct your attention to the white Q&A box on your screen. Throughout the webinar, we'll be monitoring that box. So as I said, if you have questions that come up while we're going through things, please submit them there. We'll be happy to answer them throughout the session. This is also a great place to let us know if you have any technical difficulties throughout the session, so we can do our best to assist you. We'll try to answer your questions along the way, but in the meantime, if you can find these fun icons somewhere on your screen, I'd love you to give me a thumbs up or raise your hand.
I see Susan's got her hand up. So does Michelle.
Yay!
Laura. Oh, we got a lot of hands up. Hello, everyone. Thank you.
We love it when you splatter icons. So if we're saying something that makes sense or you like, give us a applause or something. Cool. Thank you so much. So another thing we're going to do throughout the session is we're going to try to incorporate some polls. So we're going to start with our first poll. Where do you live? Are you local to the Sacramento area? We'd love to know. Our winter program that we're getting ready to launch soon is February through June. Often attracts people from outside the Sacramento region. So that's why we're asking this. In fact, Angela's cohort last winter quarter had 3 people, I believe, that traveled from Southern California and a handful that traveled from the Bay Area. Almost every cohort has at least 1 international student, and we often have people from all over the country. So let us know, are you local to the Sacramento area? Maybe you're local within 10 miles or 30 miles from Southern California or outside of California. When you're doing webinars, you never know. Wow, I'm looking at the results coming in, and it looks like most people live in Northern California but are further than 30 minutes. So that's awesome. This is an in-person program. It's fully in classroom, so you do have to attend the classroom sessions, but the way this program is structured, which we'll talk about shortly, is conducive for people who live a little bit further than a 30-mile range from us. So wherever you live, we would love for you to join us in the program. Thank you, Stephanie, for helping with that poll. Stephanie, can you give people some exciting news about being on this webinar today?
Yes, I can, Crystal. So to start us off, one exciting perk of simply joining us today for this webinar is that just by attending and showing up here today, you are all going to get a $100 off coupon off of the coaching program and also another class at UC Davis Extension if you so choose. We're going to tell you a little bit more about that coupon toward the end of the information session today. So make sure that you stick around until after that question and answer portion, and we will give you the details on how to redeem that. All right, and with that, let's go ahead and do a second poll. So how did you find out about the Professional Coaching for Life and Work Certificate Program? So if you look, there should be another poll on your screen. So you might have found out about our program from the International Coach Federation website, maybe just a general Google search for coaching programs in the Sacramento region, or maybe even worldwide. You might be on a UC Davis Extension mailing list. A friend or a colleague might have told you about the program, or you may have even heard from somebody who took our program themselves, one of our alumni. Give you a few more seconds to cast your vote. All right, it actually looks like the leading answer here is that most of you were on a UC Davis Extension mailing list. So that's wonderful that you already have heard of Extension, maybe even taken a few classes with us, and have seen the high quality of trainings that we provide to our region. So we're so excited that you've decided to either come back for another class or pursue this coaching program with UC Davis Extension. Looks like the second search, or the second option, was a general web search, just looking for just coaching in general, and then a friend or a colleague. All right, well, whatever brings you here today, we're so excited that you're here joining us to learn more about the program. All right, and with that, Crystal, do you want to tell us a little bit about ICF that we mentioned here?
Yeah, Stephanie, thanks. I'd love to. So we'll start with, remember those fun icons that we went over a few minutes ago? If you have heard of ICF, the International Coach Federation, raise your hand. I'd love to know how many of you have already heard about it, know a little bit about ICF. Wow, good. Looks like at least half of our attendees have raised their hand. They've heard of ICF. So ICF is a certifying body for professional coaches. And the UC Davis Extension coaching program is an accredited coach training provider. It's called an ACTP. What this means is that we are a partner with ICF, and we'll go over the grid in just a moment that shows you what you would need to become ICF certified. But if you desire to become ICF certified, our program is an approved packaged pathway to help get your ICF certification. By completing our program, you'll gain the 150 coach-specific training hours that you need to become either ACC or PCC certified, so ACC, an associate level coach, or PCC, a professional level coach. Through our program, you'll be paired with a mentor coach that will give you feed forward regarding your coaching recordings, and you'll be paired with a client or even multiple clients if you'd like for pro bono coaching sessions. These clients will be agreed to be recorded, and you'll use these recordings to learn how to build and improve your coaching skills. This is the ICF grid for certification, and one thing I'd like to distinguish is that there is a difference between a certificate and certification. So while our programs are partners, we are not connected. There are plenty of people who go through the UC Davis Extension coaching program and never desire to be ICF certified. So by going through our program, you'll receive a certificate that you can frame and put on your wall, and everyone will see that you've done a UC Davis coaching program, gone through and been successful in a UC Davis coaching program. If you desire to get your coaching certification after the certificate, ICF is a great place to look, the best place to look. So if you can see the different levels on our screen, the ACC level coaching, PCC level coaching, and then the MCC, the Master Certified Coach. So if you're looking at the ACC, Associate Certified Coach level, what you need to get your coaching credential from ICF is successful completion of a certificate program that is an ACTP, accredited coach training provider, which we are. So we would check that box for you if you've gone through our program. Work with a mentor coach through the ACTP certificate of ours. You will get a mentor coach, and that is part of our all-inclusive fee. So there's no extra charge for the mentor coaching component. So you can check that box off by joining our program. You will need some coaching experience. And while we pair you with a coach, a client to start your coaching experience with. The clients that you're provided with through our program are unpaid. So while you can get some of those hours, you still will need some paid coaching hours. They'll talk a lot about that through the program and help you learn how to get those paid hours and how to work towards that 100-hour coaching goal. Another frequently asked question, so I'll just kind of state it now, is if you are already coaching people and you're already gaining hours, ICF recently changed requirements and you can't count any past coaching experience towards these 100 hours that you need. But once you start the program, not once you finish, but once you start the program, you can start collecting your client hours towards that 100-hour requirement. So if you have any questions on that, feel free to submit them in the box or save them until the end. We often have questions about that. And then there will be an exam as well that you need to take to get your ICF certification. So there's a fee for that and an exam, and that is totally separate from our coaching program here at UC Davis Extension.
All right, thank you, Crystal. And now we'll talk a little bit about our program structure, but before we get to that, we did have a question come in from Susan. Susan wants to know if our slideshow will be available for print, and not exactly, but I am, after this session, going to be sending out an email to everybody who's in attendance with both a recording of this session, so you can always refer to the slides then. And I'll also be sending out in that email just some really useful documents. For instance, like our schedules that we'll be going over in just a few moments, and that ICF credentialing grid as well. And then of course you can always respond to that email and let me know, hey, there was something that I really wanted to know more about or really wanted to see again, and I'm more than happy to talk to you about that at any time. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with our program structure. So as you can see on the slide on the screen, we do offer 2 cohorts for this program. We offer it twice yearly, once in the winter and once in the summer. Our winter program is the one that's coming up very soon this February. That one is all day Friday from 9 to 5 and all day Saturday from 9 to 5, approximately every other week for 5 months. And then our summer program is Tuesday and Thursday evenings from 6 to 9 and all day Saturday for 9 to 5. Which is a program that usually accommodates people who really have that more of that traditional Monday through Friday schedule. So we do have 2 options for you to really just fit whatever professional or life schedule you need. And we offer these classes purely in person in our convenient Midtown Sacramento location on K Street. So as Crystal mentioned earlier, this program is an entirely in-person program. And so hopefully from where you're coming from, one of those schedules, the winter or the summer, will be convenient for you to be able to attend. All right, and so our winter schedule is the one that's coming up next. That one's going to be starting in early February 2018. Here are the exact dates for that schedule on the screen. This is one of those documents that I'll be sending you as a follow-up. So you can really take a look at these dates and see if this program is going to fit your schedule, so you can start making plans. If you plan to attend our program, you can start figuring out how to get those dates on your calendar. The total tuition for this program is $8,305, and that tuition includes all of your instructor fees, your tuition fees, your application fees, as well as all of your course materials, like your books in the program, your binder, your journal, and a few other little things. It also includes all of your parking for the program. In downtown Sacramento, we have a convenient parking garage located right outside. It also includes lunches for your full days in the program. So those days that you're there from 9 to 5, you will have a short lunch break, and we do have a full catered lunch there for you. This fee also includes your mentor coaching. Crystal was talking earlier about the ICF credentials that you have to become an ICF certified coach. And part of that was those mentor hours that you need. And we actually pair you with a mentor in this program included in that fee. So you can get 3 sessions with them. And then the last thing that this includes is a client pairing, as Crystal also mentions. That way you can start getting your coaching hours before you even finish the program. You can start practicing those skills that you're learning in class. And we do find a client for you, and we coordinate that pairing. And so the application deadline for this program is going to be October 30th, 2017 of this year. So you've got just under a month to get your applications in if this winter program is the one that's going to work for you. All right, and then on your screen, you'll see our summer program. This one doesn't actually start until August of next year, so you definitely have some time before this one. But if this is the schedule that works better for you, the summer schedule on those Tuesday and Thursday evenings and then Saturdays, these would be the dates. I'll be sending this out as well. And the application deadline for this one isn't going to be until sometime in May of next year, 2018. And it will be online and available for you to apply for immediately after the winter program application ends on October 31st. So if you're really, really eager to get your application in for this program, the application actually will be open relatively soon. All right, and with that, let's go ahead and take another poll. So now that you know a little bit about our program and you're starting to think about which schedule might work best for you, why don't you tell us just a little bit about yourself and why you're exploring this program? And I'll give you just a few minutes to respond. In the meantime, while we're waiting for you to respond, we had a few questions come in. I see one, applications are due October 30th. When do we need to fully commit to and pay fees? We'll actually be talking about fees a little bit later on in this PowerPoint and presentation, so we can go over that in a moment. We did have somebody who asked, what are the costs for the summer program? It's going to be that same cost as the winter program, that $8,305. And all of the things that are included in the winter program are included in the summer program as well. That was a great question, Monique. All right. Thank you so much for responding to our poll. It actually looks like the top reason why you are here is that most of you are interested in becoming a life coach. That's wonderful. Looks like a few of you are here because you're already coaching within an organization and you'd like to add this to your resume. And then some of you are just generally interested in the topic. Well, whatever brings you here today, we're so excited that you're here to join us, and we're excited to share more with you about what this program can offer. So with that, let's go ahead and hear from our program director, Carol Bennett.
My name is Carol Bennett, and I'm a professional certified coach. I came to coaching through an avenue that many of us do when I realized that the work I was doing was no longer fulfilling the place where I found the most value, which was developing other people and being in that place with the people that I worked with and the clients that I worked with in realizing potential and realizing possibilities and shifting worldview. I really enjoyed that part of my work that I've been fortunate to do and really wanted to develop my skill sets around that. So when I found out there was such a thing as professional coaching, I knew that was something I wanted to look into. In about the 90s, the Harvard Business Review had an article called Anyone Who's Anyone Who Has a Coach. And it was at that time when I realized, wow, this is really something I'd like to be part of. And the opportunities that I saw out there were places like Georgetown University had a great one, Harvard had one, Stanford, and some of these places that were not really going to be right for me. I wasn't going to uproot my life and move to a new state to learn how to be a coach, nor was I going to be able to go back and get a new degree in organizational psychology or organizational behavior. So I looked for other options and found a great school of which I was able to join, but it was fully on the telephone. And the piece about that really brought me the first idea to begin this program was I missed the human connection. Part of that development of potential and possibilities really has to do, to me, with being in community with another person. And I believe that starting something new like this is hard and uncomfortable, and being in a community of other people and being able to see them would have been really helpful for me. And I wasn't able to find that at my time. So I was fortunate to find Michelle Payne through the University of California, Davis Extension Campus, who is a master certified coach, and lucky enough to have her as my partner in developing this program and bringing it to UC Davis. Michelle is a master certified coach and also came from a rich history of working with executives and developing her own people, and really wanted to further her work in coaching and has been one of the early Master Certified coaches and has a great deal of wealth and skill around coaching. So specifically, why this program at UC Davis? It really is to help bring a professional view to coaching around the world and the community of coaches. We really wanted to provide an opportunity for people to come together in community of learning and embed these skills into the work that they do every day, be it managers who want to develop their employees, parents who want to improve their relationships, community organizers and community involved people who want to better their society, and people who want to become professional coaches as a business. We really wanted to bring to them this place to come together to learn these skills. This program is special in that it really provides this great, rich group of people to support one another as we move forward in learning how to become a professional coach. What is professional coaching? The International Coaching Federation, which is a governing association for coaching around the world, defines coaching as partnering with clients in a thought-provoking and creative process that inspires them to their maximum personal and professional potential. When we're talking about coaching, we're talking about executive coaching, we're talking about coaching for work, life coaching, business coaching. Really, any type of coaching is founded on these skills that are found in professional coaching. There are other services that people often confuse with coaching, such as consulting and therapy and mentoring, just to name a few. But it's helpful to understand what those distinctions are to really truly understand what this definition means. So for instance, in consulting, the consultant is doing the work, whereas in coaching, you can see in our definition that this is really a partnering with the client so that they can maximize their own thinking and their own process and bring forth their own solutions and answers, thereby allowing them to own what they are going to be doing as a result of the coaching. Also, therapy requires a distinction, as in therapy or any other type of psychotherapy is really about looking backwards and addressing what's keeping people from moving forward, whereas coaching is really a forward-thinking process, and this forward-thinking process is really about moving forward, and you can see that in the definition around maximizing personal and professional potential. Mentoring differs in that it is requiring an expert. So the mentor, you assume that the mentor knows something about what it is that you're speaking to. So for instance, a mentor brings examples of what worked for them, what they did when they were in a similar situation, or what you could do to become like them. Whereas in a coaching relationship, we're really talking about being a true partner, really working together in this process that inspires another person to move forward. When we begin this journey together, this cohort program that lasts over 5 months, we begin with a beginner's mind because everybody in the room will come with a different level of understanding and a different level of experience around what coaching is as they understand it or what experience they've had with coaching. And so we begin at the beginning with Coaching Essentials, where we really talk about what does professional coaching mean in this framework that we're providing around the International Coaching Federation. We learn to build trust and build community, and we learn really what are the ethics around coaching, what coaching is and what coaching is not, and what are these skills that we're going to be studying over the next 5 months. We then move into coaching skills, where we really dig into each one of the individual competencies. For instance, active listening. We'll spend a great deal of time learning, practicing, and understanding what coaching skills look like and how they feel when we practice them. Because we believe that a good coach has a coach and that we need our own strong personal foundation in order to coach other people towards their potential future best self, we spend some time with personal foundation. Everything we teach has two purposes. It helps develop us as an individual learner in the classroom, as well as a tool that we can use with our own clients in a coaching relationship in the future. And so personal foundations is a great opportunity for that. Then finally, we move into coaching conversation. This is where we see all the skills that you've learned in the previous 3 months come alive. And we look at the best practices in neuroscience. We look at different models out there that are in the coaching conversation world. We look at what does it mean to talk about coaching and how does that work in the work that we do every day. And then finally, we end with establishing yourself as a coach. This is a class that is oriented to all the different views in the room. This is a class meant to help you create your own point of view. So when you leave this program, you know what you're going to do next, and you have a plan to move forward towards that personal best self as a coach. It is not a class designed to teach you how to start a new business, but it is a place where you would have a vision for a new business and be able to move forward to do that following this program. Our approach is practice, practice, practice. What we mean by that is we give you plenty of opportunity to try these skills on. Most of these coaching competencies make sense in written form, but it isn't until we get them out of our minds and into our practice in our mouths and our hands that we can really see them come alive. The other approach that we use is we've embedded the mentor coaching. Many programs out there have a mentor coaching component that needs to be added on. We've embedded this into our program because we know that coaches need coaches, as I said before. And so we will apply a mentor coaching framework for you as you move through this program. We also are special in that we provide clients to practice on. Because we believe in practice and we believe in feedback, we need someone to practice with besides just each other and this wonderful community in the room with you. And so we provide clients for you to practice on and who are willing to be in this conversation with other coaches who are learning. And then finally, as we spoke about before, this great community of coaches, this room full of people who will help you move forward in your life as you develop your coaching practice and your coaching skills.
Awesome. Well, I hope you learned a lot from listening to Carol's presentation. And we're going to kind of launch into one more poll. In Carol's presentation, she mentioned a number of times that coaches have coaches. So I'm just curious, how many of you have had a coach, be it a personal life coach, a business coach, a relationship coach, or some other form of coach? Curious how many of you. Let's see here. Wow, look at all the answers coming in. Great, not yet. The vast majority of people say not yet, but they'd love to have the experience in being coached. A number of people have, yes, been coached, and looks like a few people are currently working with a coach. So how exciting. Wonderful. You know, for those of you that have never been coached but would be interested in the experience, if you're looking at our summer quarter program, one thing to think about is you could ask us to be a client for one of the coaches going through our winter quarter program. We would love to pair you with a coach coming into the winter quarter program and provide you that experience so that you can have the other side of the perspective when you join the program and go through it on your own. So thanks so much for participating in that. We're going to go ahead and now hear a little bit from our alumni presenter, Angela. Hi, Angela. Thanks for being here.
Hi, Crystal. Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here to talk about this program with you.
So, Angela, you went through the program winter of last year.
Yes.
So you were sitting in these seats, the seat here, like thinking about the program about this time. And I just have a few questions for you. I'm curious, what led you to coaching?
Well, I am about, 15 years into my career, and I have been looking for something where I can give a little bit more back to the community. And I did some research and I found the coaching program, and I thought, this looks like a really excellent opportunity. I have worked with coaches in the past and been just really amazed at how helpful the process can be. And so I really believe in the value of coaching. And so I was lucky enough to find this program and to be a part of it. It was an amazing experience. I don't think it's unreasonable to say that it's a life-changing experience.
Wow, thank you so much, Angela. I'd love to hear a little bit about your experience in the program. So maybe you could tell us about, how was the experience generally for you?
So I've been through several educational programs, and what I will say about this one is that it is by far the best designed program that I've ever been a part of. you know, aside from the fact that you're in a room with a bunch of amazing fellow students, the instructors are, as you've seen already in this information session, the instructors are all professional coaches. And so they bring an incredible wealth of experience to what they teach you. But the other thing that I thought when I was in the program is that it's really beautifully designed. It's really elegantly designed. Everything that you do in the program has a double purpose to it. You are learning something at the same time you're preparing for the next step in the program. Carol mentioned in her slides that there's quite a bit of practice built into the program, and I would echo that. I think that you get really ample opportunity to practice the skills that you're learning, and it really embeds it into your brain. You really come out feeling very confident in your abilities as a coach.
Awesome. If you were to tell people here today something about the most impactful part of the program for you, what would come to mind?
Well, it's funny because going through the program, every lesson I took, I would have said at the time, oh, this is absolutely the most impactful part of the program. And then I'd move to the next one and I'd say, no, this is the most impactful part of the program. But looking back on it, I can say that Lori's course was the one that was the most impactful on me. I really enjoyed learning about the neuroscience behind coaching. I found the entire course completely riveting, and I have since done quite a bit of reading to expand upon the skills that she taught us. And I just really find it fascinating learning how the brain works and learning how how coaching influences the different processes that are happening in your brain. The concept of growing new neural pathways and strengthening positive neural pathways is one that really speaks to me. And I intend to go forward and learn even more about that and really incorporate that into my coaching practice.
Wow. Thank you. Sometimes you mentioned that you've done a lot of other training programs in the past, and I know oftentimes you have classes with different people, but this experience is really intentionally designed to be a cohort experience. So you're with the same group for a 5-month period. How was that for you? What was it like to be in a cohort?
I really feel like that was an essential facet of the program. The people that I went through the program with, you become very, very close with these people. A lot of people, just by nature of the program, are sharing things that are very personal. We come to trust each other. We come to look at the classroom as a safe space where we can really practice our skills and hone our skills as coaches. And we became very, very close, and we still actually are. We are planning a reunion in the next couple of months. Oh. We have gotten together for conference calls to talk about, resources that we recommend, books that we recommend, what we're doing now, how we're all moving forward. It was such an inspirational group of people. We had people from all over the state of California. Some people, as Crystal mentioned, were from Southern California. They would fly up for the program, for our weekend meetings. And so you just really got a sense of how committed these people were to the program. And it was very energizing being in a room with these people and, knowing that we were all invested in each other's growth as coaches. And I think that was really a wonderful feature of the program.
You mentioned a little bit earlier about how you've used some of the skills from the program in your regular life and work, but do you have anything else you can tell us about how you're using the coaching skills learned from the program?
Well, it's interesting. I am actually moving forward in becoming a life coach, and so I'm starting to pick up clients of my own, which is extremely exciting. The other thing I'll say that's interesting is that as you become a coach, these skills sort of, become part of you. And I find that I'm really even using them at home in my personal relationships. I use them in my interactions with my 7-year-old daughter. I use them in my interactions with my husband. And it's been really beneficial. I think it has really helped me strengthen those relationships. So I will say that you're not just learning to advance your professional development. I'm growing as a person, I think.
And you mentioned that you're, starting to pick up some clients to become a life coach and work towards that goal. Just curious, are you pursuing ICF certification?
I am. I am currently still gathering my hours for the ACC certification. You need 100 hours to receive that certification. And I fully intend to go all the way through MCC certification. I feel like the ICF as an organization is really important to be part of as a coach. I haven't been able to make it to any of their conferences yet, but I intend to attend the conferences next year because I feel like it's an excellent networking opportunity. The resources that being an ICF member provides are invaluable. I actually am an ICF member, even though I'm still working towards certification. They have an excellent knowledge base that I can draw on, for help in coaching my clients. And they also have an excellent resource that will help you practice and earn hours, which is that you can be paired up with other coaches to coach each other. And that's an excellent resource that I'm currently taking advantage of to help get those 100 hours.
Wow, I didn't even realize about that resource. How interesting. Before we let you go, do you have what advice might you have for prospective students looking to enter into our program?
Well, what I'll say is two things. One, as you go into the program, it has been, as I said, very, very thoughtfully designed. And so I would recommend that you trust the process as you're going through the program and trust that everything you are learning is helping to build your foundation as a coach and then add the pieces that you need to be a fully well-rounded coach by the end of the program. The other thing I would recommend is that you ensure going into the program that you have the time to dedicate to it. It is a very good program. It is a very intense program, and I say that in a very complimentary way. It is something that you need to have the time and the mental resources to put toward it. So, I would suggest that you look at the schedules, make sure that you're available to be there, and that you have, adequate personal and professional support to do it. I think that it takes a commitment. But I promise you that you will come out of the program feeling very, very confident in your abilities.
Great. Angela, I thank you so much for being here and participating in this information session with us. Before we let you go, if you have anyone on the line on this webinar, if you have any questions specifically for Angela, any questions that from an alumni perspective, you'd really like to ask her while we have her here, we're going to ask you to please go ahead and type those in the Q&A box now. There was one question that had come in, a few questions that have come in, but Angela, do you think you could tell everyone here what is the typical time commitment outside of the class? You'd be a great person to answer that question.
Sure. The time commitment outside of class is mainly reading. Every once in a while, a few of the classes will give homework, but it's not something terribly time consuming, but you are asked to read several books. I will tell you my little secret is that those books are also available on Audible, and so I listened to the audiobooks, which I'm an auditory learner, and so that was helpful for me to be able to do that. But the time commitment is mainly reading those books, and so I would say, maybe 5 hours a week or 5 hours every couple of weeks outside of class. The real time commitment is actually being able to be there and be fully present while you're in the classroom.
Great. And then there's coaching outside of the classroom, right?
Yes, there is,
What was the time commitment of that?
So that was maybe a couple of hours a week. You need to meet with your mentor coach, and then you also are assigned a client to coach as part of the program. And so that was, probably a couple of hours a week, I would say.
Great. Thank you. Well, Angela, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate your participation and helping to continue to support our program. Thank you.
Absolutely.
All right. we're going to keep going through the information session, but we're about done. So we're going to start wrapping up shortly. If you have any more questions, feel free to get those on the docket. So when we're time for Q&A, we can go through them. We have a few already lined up. But I'm going to throw it to Stephanie to tell us a little bit about how to apply for the program.
Thank you so much, Angela, for that wonderful alumni spotlight. All right. So for applying to our program, we already talked just a little bit about this earlier, about the deadlines, how the winter program deadline will be this October 30th in just under a month. And then the summer program deadline will be the week of, next year. And applicants will be notified for that winter application the week of November 14th. And then that summer application will go live just after this winter application deadline closes on October 31st. And for that online application, there are a few things that I want to mention about that. So the first is that when you go online to apply, it will first ask you to create an account. And so instead of just entering in your name and your email address to get to the application, I'm going to ask you to take a little bit more time on that account creation, because that account creation is actually part of your application. It's only a few questions, but there's a few questions like, what is your educational background and where are you currently working? And all of those things are taken under consideration when reviewing your application. So if you could just take the time to fill out all fields in that account creation, that would be wonderful. And then after you fill out that account creation portion, it will take you to 4 short essay questions. And those short answer questions, they're not too long. There is a recommended word limit, but really what our program directors are looking for is someone who is passionate about the subject of coaching and someone who is going to be committed to our program. That's really what our program directors are looking to gain from those essay questions. So it's always a good idea to give those a little bit of thought and to really be truthful and honest and transparent about what you are looking for when both considering this program and what you think you can bring to this program. And lastly, if you have any troubles with our online system, please let me know. I will be sending out a follow-up email, so you will have my email address and my phone number in that email. Our system can occasionally be a little bit picky when it comes to the application submission with special characters. So as you're going through that submission process, if you have anything at all that comes up, an error or your application says cannot be submitted, don't keep trying to submit and don't sweat it. All that you need to do in that scenario is email me your application questions and I can submit it for you. But of course, if you have any questions about this, don't hesitate to call me and I'd be happy to assist you in walking you through it.
And a good tip on that, Stephanie, correct me if I'm wrong, is to answer the application questions maybe in a Word document or a notes section on your computer, right? And save it somewhere. And then when you're all done with your answers and you like how they look, then go ahead and copy and paste them into the application, right?
Yes, I would highly recommend that as well, instead of just typing it into your web browser, because things can happen. Your internet can go out or your page can automatically refresh, and you don't want to lose all the hard work that you've been doing in writing those essay questions. So yes, thank you, Crystal, so much. That is an excellent suggestion.
Wonderful. And I would like to reiterate one thing that Stephanie already said. I know that she had talked a little bit about the application questions that you'll be filling in. Just one thing that's important, like from my perspective, sometimes we see applications that even though there's a requested amount of words for you to put in the area, sometimes people will submit like a 1 to 2 or maybe even 3 sentence answer for the application questions. And I just want to urge you, the application questions, while they don't have to be attached essays to the application, they really should be a place to tell your story. And that's really what the instructors are looking for. They want to know hard facts, why are you interested in the program? But more than that, I would encourage you to take that opportunity to build an emotional connection with the program directors who run the selection process. So really telling your story, how you came to coaching, what you want to do with it, the more that you can build that emotional connection and tell your story, the better it makes your application. So just want to encourage that. We had a question that leads into my next slide here, so I'll go ahead and answer that now. Monique asked if there were any tuition assistance for the program or financial aid. So we have something about financing our education, and this is one very common question that we receive regarding financial aid. So while we don't offer financial aid in the same way as a traditional four-year institution, we do have someone in our student services office, Diane Carr, you can see her beautiful picture here, that can help to answer any questions you might have regarding special funding. Diane works with students who need to secure a personal loan. So if you want to come into the program and you don't have the funds available, she can help guide you towards securing a personal loan to pay for the program fees. She also works with veterans who are receiving funding from the GI Bill and students receiving funding from various government funding sources such as WIOA funding, Workforce Investment Act funding. This is also a good time to mention discounts that we offer in the program. Stephanie stated earlier in the information session that there will be a $100 coupon that you'll receive just for attending today. So you'll receive that via email. And if you're a UC Davis staff member, we do offer a $200 discount for UC Davis staff. If you are a staff member, you have to pick the greatest available discount to you. So you'd want to choose the $200 discount. You can't stack both the $100 and $200 discount. Lastly, coaching is really unique to our programs because unlike most programs at UC Davis Extension where you have to pay the full fee at the time of enrollment, the coaching program does offer a payment plan. So how the payment plan is structured is that it is about the time that you're notified that you are accepted into the program. You will have about 2 to 3 weeks to secure and pay about 1/3 of the program fee. Of course, you can pay the full program fee at that time and enroll and not worry about paying in the future. But if you do need that opportunity to break the payment into a few different chunks, when you're accepted into the program, you'll pay about 1/3 of the program fee. And then the second payment will be due about a month and a half into the program, and then about another month and a half into the program, you'll pay the additional 1/3, the last 1/3 of the payment fee. If you'd like to see a sample of how that payment plan is structured, that is something that we can send you. So just let us know. Or Stephanie, should we just add it to the information that we send out?
Yes, I can do that.
Okay. So we'll send you a copy of the payment plan just so that you can see what the structure would look like. See how that would fit into your life. And then if you have any questions about that, feel free to let us know. So moving right before we have question and answers here in just a second, but I don't want to forget to mention that in addition to our partnership with ICF, we have another exciting partnership with University of the Pacific. So if you've ever desired to get a master's degree, the UC Davis coaching program is a perfect pathway to that goal. Once you've completed the UC Davis Extension Coaching Certificate Program, and if you have a bachelor's degree, you've already essentially completed 3 of the 11 classes needed to get a Master's of Arts in Education with a concentration in organizational learning and effectiveness. This program is a hybrid master's program. Part of it is online and part of it is in the Sacramento University of the Pacific location. So if you have thoughts about this or questions, please feel free to let us know and we'd be happy to give you more details on this partnership. We have had a number of our coaching alumni go through or are currently in progress of going through this master's degree program. So it's really exciting opportunity for students. And with that, we're going to take a few minutes to open it up for your questions. Stephanie has been collecting some questions throughout the session. So just a reminder, if you have questions, take a moment to type them in the Q&A box located on your screen. And we'll be here facilitating those answers for a few minutes. Stephanie, what do we have lined up?
All right, we had a few questions that came in throughout the course of the webinar that we were sort of saving till the end. So thank you so much for your patience. We'll go ahead and get to those now. So we had one come in a little bit ago that what is the hourly rates charged by coaches?
Yeah, thank you for asking that question. That's a great question and something that we are commonly asked. Really, the hourly rate for coaches has a great range. The ICF's website has a lot of data and statistics about coaching as a profession. So if you're looking for information about average pay for coaches, there are tons of statistics. There's an annual report processed by ICF, and that would be a great place to look for information regarding coaching statistics. But it really depends on your experience as a coach, how much you charge. I know that for some of our students going through the coaching program that are trying to get that 100-hour fee, the 100 hours from coaching, they will often do a very low fee as they're starting out to coach, provide some coaching to friends, family, and provide a really low fee. There is no requirement for how much you have to charge to consider it paid coaching for ICF. So, and then as you get more experience, maybe as you're certified, you can look to charge a little more. Sort of depends on what type of coaching you're doing too. If you're a life coach, an executive coach would really have a wide range.
Yeah, and last time I checked that ICF report, and I've heard from our program instructors that usually for our students that graduate our program that have gone through their adequate number of credentialing hours and are at least that ACC certified, it usually starts at about 125 an hour and then can go upward from there, just like Crystal said, depending on who you're coaching and what your experience level is from there. But at least that's usually that baseline amount that a lot of our students start out once they really become that level of professional certified coach.
Great. Thank you, Stephanie. There's another commonly asked question about statistics from our coaching program. How many of our coaches have become professional coaches? This is really a great opportunity for me to talk about the range of students who come into our program. Our students are intentionally built to have people from all different walks of life with all different experiences. Some people come into our program never wanting to be ICF certified, and other students come into our program and that they want to be life coaches and ICF certified. So we don't have exact statistics of how many people have become ACC or PCC certified through our program, but I have talked to many of our coaches who have gone through the process of becoming ACC and PCC certified. So anecdotally, we have a high percentage of people from our program that become ACC or PCC certified, but it does take time because you need those 100 hours. So like Angela's cohort who just ended in winter, they're all working towards their coaching hours, but none of them would be ACC or PCC certified by this point, because that does take years to get your certification. And we have a lot of people who come to our program that are internal coaches within organizations, and being ICF certified was never their intent, and they don't have any desire to become ICF certified. Do you have anything else to add on that, Stephanie?
I think you actually answered that really well, but another question did come up that is very similar along this, which is what percentages of graduates of your program find coaching jobs? And I really think that this fits in very well to your answer, which is that a coaching job is a very subjective title per se, because it all depends on what your intent is when you want to be a coach. Do you want to coach within your organization? Do you want to coach your family and friends? Do you just want to be a better parent? Or do you want to full on open up your own coaching business and potentially grow that and hire other coaches and start an entire coaching organization? Really, that coaching job is so flexible in terms of what it actually is, because there are so many different ways to utilize coaching, both in your professional life, in the professional world, and in your personal life. So I think that most of our coaching alumni usually go on to use coaching in some kind of their professional role, but for some that's not even the intent. So that's a really subjective number about what percentage. But I have heard that anecdotally that what our students set out to do with their coaching certification, they're usually always working toward that, if not moving past that initial goal that they set. What would you think from
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I would say. I've never talked to a program alumni who went through our program and didn't achieve their initial intent. Sometimes intents change. You join the program with one goal in mind, and then as you really find your passion and how you want to utilize coaching, it can change and develop. But we do hold annual alumni events. So this program, as Angela stated and Carol, the alumni are very connected. We have a huge alumni group, and they are all keeping in contact through a closed Facebook group that we provide to our alumni to keep in touch through our alumni events, and they're all very active within this UC Davis coaching community. So we hear from our alumni often, and yeah.
Thank you, Crystal. We have somebody here who looks like coming from out of state, and they want to know if we have any housing suggestions for where they would be able to find housing during the program.
Yeah, well, we have someone right now in our program that's from Chicago, and I know that she came here through Airbnb. I don't want to promote them. They're not paying us any money. There are other options for housing that is flexible, temporary housing. So that's something you might look at. It's under those Airbnb type options. In addition, we do have some partnerships with local hotels. So if you're coming from out of the area, you can let Stephanie or I know, and we'd be happy to give you a list of hotels that will provide you a discount for the duration of your stay. So we have that offer for you as well. Yeah. If you're an international student, you could ask us, we could connect you with our international housing department, and they might have some connections for you within their part of the organization as well.
Thank you, Crystal.
Mm-hmm.
We have someone here who is currently unemployed, and they want to know if employment is required for acceptance into this program.
Absolutely not. Yeah. You'll see on the application that there is a requirement to have at least 5 years of professional work experience, but it does not say anything about needing to be currently employed. And there are many reasons for that. I mean, we have a lot of people who will join our program because they're in a transition. They're transitioning careers. Maybe they're stay-at-home parents and looking for the next chapter of their lives. We have people that have officially retired from their jobs, and now they're looking for a second career. So we have plenty of people in our program that aren't currently employed, and a lot of people balancing work and the coaching program commitment. So definitely a good question, but no requirement.
Thank you. All right, Susan wants to know, how large is the typical cohort group, and what are the typical demographics of each group?
Yeah, great question. We should have mentioned cohort size. Thanks for asking that. So the cohort is no larger than 22 students. It usually ranges between 18 and 22. That's the cohort size. And we have intentionally capped it there to make sure that it's a really close group that has the opportunity to learn together and to get to know each other and to really build that close bond and that close relationship. So that is an intentional small cohort number to give you a great benefit while you're in the program.
And then the demographics of these classes really range greatly. I have seen people join our program who I would say are in their very early 20s, and I've seen people that are up into their 70s and potentially even 80s in this program as well. That's really one of the benefits of this in-person program with this close-knit cohort, is that so many people from so many different backgrounds, ages, demographics join our program for really a well-rounded experience among the cohort, because there are so many different perspectives. I would say most people fall into the late 20s to early 50s age range, but there really is so much variation in each program. It probably really looks like a pretty standard bell curve, honestly, for around those age ranges. But I would definitely say that the program really welcomes people of all ages, and it actually really adds to an enriching experience to have a large demographic.
Great. Someone asked how long the program, Joan asked how long the program has been in existence and accredited. Yeah, so our program has been around since 2010. That was our first cohort that went through the program and graduated, was 2010 was the year that they started the program. And Since then, we had offered the program just once a year for a number of years, and then have now expanded it due to need to 2 programs a year. I forget the second part of that question. Do you remember?
Oh, how long has this program been accredited?
Oh, thanks. Since the beginning. Sorry, I just had a little lapse in memory for a
Well,
moment.
the answer was the same.
Yeah, so since 2010, the first year that the program was brought into existence, it has been intentionally designed to align with the ICF core competencies. So the program has always been intentionally an accredited coach training provider of ICF since the beginning of time of the extension program.
The time of the program
Yeah.
starting. All right, and we're about at the end of our session today, but we did have a few more questions come in that we will stay a little bit over and answer, but we definitely want to be aware of your time, and we definitely want to be able to get to that last $100 off detail on that last slide. So we'll take just a few more questions, but if we didn't get to your question today, please know that you can absolutely call us at any time and we can answer these questions for you. So not all hope is lost if we didn't answer your question. We just really want to be cognizant of your time and respectful that you committed this time and that we're not keeping you very much over.
Mhm.
So we'll go ahead and end with
Yeah, this is a really great question. So I thank you for allowing us time to answer it. Can I still join the program if I have to miss 2 classes? So the answer to that is that you can only miss 10% of the program in order to graduate and get your certificate through this program. That is a requirement because of our integration with ICF. So you have to have so many coach-specific training hours. If you need to miss more than 10% of the program, you should not sign up. If you already know you're going to miss 1 class, even maybe 2, this is a full day Friday and Saturday if you're looking at the winter quarter program, and missing 1 day is a lot. If you have a whole weekend that you have to miss, like a Friday Saturday pairing, I would say to look towards a different year or a different offering, because that you're missing so much content. And the structure of the program is really such that it's real experiential learning. You're not going to be able to be sent a PowerPoint presentation and do some reading and make up what you miss in class. You're really missing hands-on coaching practice, which isn't something that you can make up easily. So if you need to miss dates, we would suggest that you let us know in advance so we can talk to you about what classes those are that you'll be missing. But of course, we know that people are human and life happens. People get sick, kids get sick, something happens. And so that's what that 10% is really there for. It's for the unexpected. If you've already expected a delay or missed classes, this might not be the right timing for you for this program. But you can always call us and talk to us about it. Another question here that was asked is that if classes can be taken individually, if you can just take a few classes in winter and a few classes in summer. And I think we've said already that this is a cohort experience, so you have to start and stop it together. You apply, you join the program, you take all 5 of the classes together with your cohort, and you graduate.
All right. Thank you so much, Crystal, for your help with that. And like I said, if we did not get to your question, you can always email me at any time. All right. And with that, I just want to tell you the exciting news about this $100 off coupon. So like I've said throughout the webinar, after this information session, I will be sending out either tomorrow or early next week an email that has some more information about the program, a recording of this webinar so you can either watch it again or even send it to family, friends, or colleagues who might be interested. And that email will additionally have your discount code for how you can receive $100 off of this program. All right, and like I said, if you have any additional questions, please don't hesitate to contact Crystal or myself at any time. I will include both of our information in that email, and you can always reach out to us then.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us, and we look forward to seeing your application and hopefully having you in our program.